By the time the credits rolled on MANEATER for PS5, I had clocked in 11 hours and 50 minutes, and it was clear from the stats page that I was very close to 100% in the whole game, and to getting the platinum. And sure enough, after spending another 10 minutes or so getting the last few collectibles, I actually unlocked the platinum trophy. But how was the platinum experience overall? Should you play it, plat it, or just downright avoid this one? Well, in this video, I'm going to be letting you know whether you should platinum MANEATER on PS5. But before all that, let's have a quick gameplay overview of what you should expect when you play MANEATER. So this game was free on PlayStation Plus for January 2021 on PS5, and it was billed as a shark RPG, but don't let that RPG tagline put you off, as it's much more of an action game than anything, as you'll just be biting your way through everything that you come across and fighting in real time. It reminded me a lot of Echo the Dolphin, but obviously you're a shark in this one, so it's a bit more action heavy. You start off as a young baby shark, and basically the aim of the game is to go through the story and eventually evolve and become the mega shark. So you'll go from like a baby to a teenager to an adult to an elder, and then an adult and a mega shark. And you do this by completing the missions, by eating other animals, and it all gives you these ingredients, these nutrition, protein, and stuff like that, that once you level up, you will go up in ranks, and once you reach certain milestones, you become a new age, so you'll be like a teenager and so on, until you get to the Mega Shark. And you do this by completing the various missions, and these range from killing humans who might be on the beach or swimming in the water, to attacking hunter boats or just boats or things that are on the river in general. And there are also more specific ones. Sometimes you'll have to fight against other animals in the ocean, so you might go up against big sharks, alligators early on, hammerhead sharks, all sorts of things. And everything you do in the game, everything you eat, will give you different ingredients, and you use these ingredients as well as this mutagen to actually evolve your shark and give him new moves. So you can equip like this bone skin to make you harder and take less damage from enemy attacks, or a tiger skin or vampire teeth, so you can bite people or sharks and cause them to bleed out. So there's lots of little things you can do there, and that's kind of what the RPG element is. But by the end of it, you'll be a big shark god killing everything in the ocean. And one of the cool things about the game is all the pop culture references in there, from SpongeBob's house to the Titanic resting on the ocean floor. And you can even see skeletons of Jack and Rose from that famous scene when they're at the front of the ship. There's also some really creepy ones, like It the Clown, who's down in the sewers behind a grate with his balloon, trying to lure you in. But my favourite one is the Demolition Man reference.
A young visionary entrepreneur will spot these three shells while snorkeling and revolutionize after toilet care.
It gives you an extra reason to explore the ocean that you're in and your environment, because finding all these cool references is pretty fun. There's even a Castaway one in there with Wilson on the beach. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the trophies in the game. So MANEATER has a total of 33 trophies with a platinum trophy to unlock, and it took me around 12 hours to get the platinum in MANEATER from start to finish. So here are the trophy types broken down into different categories. First up, we have the story progression trophies. So these are just the smaller, more simple ones that will just naturally unlock as you work your way through the game's campaign. Completing various missions at certain key points in the story will earn you these trophies. They are pretty much unmissable, providing you're playing the game and going through it. You will definitely get these whenever you get to a certain point in the story. There aren't too many of these trophies, only a handful to be honest, but there are other ones that link to your progression through the story. Overall, the campaign is fairly short and simple, but it's really fun to go through the missions and just munch on anyone who gets in your way. A trophy tip I would give for sort of the story itself, and not necessarily a specific trophy, is just how to get past the 2 red locked gates that you'll find. So if, like me, you get to this gate in the game, you would naturally try and get over it, and once you swim up to the gate, I had a voice line trigger saying that I needed to throw something at the switch in order to open the gate. But whenever I would grab a fish or a human and fling it at the switch using the tail, it wouldn't work. So I didn't really know how to get into this next area to get past this gate, because you actually do have to throw people or fish at the switches to open them, but you have to do that from the other side. So how can you get into the gate? Well, the trick is to jump onto the embankment to the right of the gate and then sort of just flip your shark up and over. You can always do 2 jumps when you're in the air, and if you move the right stick you can tilt the direction of the shark, so this will allow you to adjust your angles and jump away, and then adjust your angle and jump forward towards the actual gate to get over it. Once you get over it, you then just need to get a human or a nearby fish, fling them at the switch, and it will open it up for you. That was only really the main sort of issue I had with the story progress, because it was just like misleading when the tutorial thing popped up, even though I was on the other side of the gate where you couldn't do that. So next up we have leveling up trophies. So these are for when your shark evolves, basically. So throughout the game you'll age as a shark and you'll get bigger and bigger. You start off as a little pup, and you will get trophies for whenever you reach certain age milestones. So these happen once you level up. So you start at a level 1, and through eating, killing things, doing missions, you will earn experience, and that will gradually level you up, and you go from like pup to a teen to an adult to an elder and so on. One trophy tip I would give for this though is that once you reach the certain required thresholds for the rank to evolve, you do need to go back to your grotto in order to trigger the evolve. For me, I was working my way up into the 30s and I was still like an adult, but I think I should have been an elder by that point. And it was only ever when I died and I would just respawn in my grotto that I would suddenly age then. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you reach the thresholds where you think you have, regularly go back to the grotto, because that will just then evolve you automatically. I don't know why it just doesn't do it itself as soon as you reach the required rank, but you need to make sure you go back to the grotto in order to grow and get stronger as the shark. Once you reach the final rank of Mega, you will get the last trophy. But there are also other trophies tied to the shark and how he evolves, as you can unlock various different evolutions, which are like abilities and perks that you can equip to the shark's teeth, nose, tail, body, and organs to do various things. So one of the things you can get is like a sonar, so you can ping out the environment to find collectibles. You get different teeth to do different certain things, and the trophies are sort of tied to collecting all of these. One tip I would give though straight away is to make sure that you equip the mineral digest and the health perks to your, I think it's the organ slots at the bottom, as these will keep you healthy early on in the game and will give you lots of minerals. If you have that equipped and you level it up to the maximum, you'll often find that you've got more than enough of the pieces to be able to upgrade everything. As a starting out point, the tiger body works well as the vampire teeth, because that will drain enemies' health and heal you, I think. But as soon as you get any bone pieces, you want to equip them and try and level them up to the maximum as soon as possible, as they are really good to have, especially with the later levels and bosses, because you'll just be really strong at that point and really overpowered with the bone ones. So that's what you definitely want to get done. You'll get some trophies for the first evolution, for getting 50% of the evolutions, and then for getting 100%, that'll be your final one of these types. So you just want to make sure you kill all the apex predators and just progress through the story, as it will automatically unlock ones once you go through the game. It's not like something you have to find as a collectible pickup or anything like that. So as soon as you kill the bigger apex predators, you'll more than likely unlock some of these evolutions, and once you get your final one, you will unlock the gold science experiment trophy. So the next type are for 100%ing each area in the game. So the game is broken down into like 8 or so different sections of this big area, and each section has its own range of missions, side missions and collectibles for you to do, and all of these tie into 100% the level. So it's not just a case of going around and picking up all of the collectibles. You have to do all of the side missions, all of the kills, all of the story missions in order to get to 100% for the area. And once you reach 100%, you will unlock a trophy for that area, and then you'll go on to the next ones. You'll have to do it again and again in all of them. It might seem like there's quite a lot of collectibles, but they're actually quite fun to do, and the side missions are pretty cool as well, though you do find that they repeat the same thing. Like, you'll tend to kill a load of turtles in one area, then it'll be a load of certain fish in another, and it'll just repeat them for like 3 or 4 side missions, which is a bit of a shame. But you just got to keep going. It's best to do these as much as you can before progressing to the next area. Always make sure you've got at least one collectible left before killing the apex, as this used to be glitched, so you kind of want to make sure you've got one collectible left, and make a backup save before you grab it, just in case it doesn't work. But for me, none of the trophies were glitched because they have patched it to fix it, but you never know, so I do kind of want to give that warning. So yeah, the collectibles and the side missions are really fun to do, and it never really felt like a chore, because it was just fun to go around and grab them all, to be fair. And if you use the sonar ability, you can easily ping out your environment with circle, and it will instantly mark things on the map, even if you're not directly facing it with the camera and it's behind you. As long as you've pinged the sonar in that area, you will automatically mark it on your map, so you can go back to it later if you need to. So yeah, once you get all of them, there's another trophy then called Queen of the Ocean for 100%ing everything. So yeah, my trophy tip for this bit of the game, and 100% in all the areas, is to make sure that you equip the sonar in your organ slot, and you upgrade it to tier 5, the maximum, as fast as possible, because that will increase the area of effectiveness of the sonar blast, allowing you to spot collectibles from like miles away basically. And you kind of want to be in the habit of using the sonar constantly as you go through the game, even when you're just doing normal missions. So the next type are the Infamy level trophies. So throughout the game, you will often find, if you're causing enough chaos, you'll have a different rank of Infamy, and each rank of Infamy from 1 to 10 is tied to a different hunter, a human hunter that will come out and try and kill you to get the sort of like the bounty prize on your head. So in order to get a specialist hunter to come out and chase you down, you need to cause a lot of chaos, which is done by attacking humans in the area. Once you attack humans on, say, the beach, smaller hunters will come out to get you, and it's then just a case of killing them enough times in order to fill up the circle in the top right corner of the screen. Once that fills up to the top, the specialist hunter will appear, and then you have like a mini boss fight against them to kill them. Most of the times they're pretty easy to begin with, as you can just grab the body off the boat, and then later ones you'll have to attack the boat first and destroy various things in order to get to them. So once you kill all of them and get to the rank 10, you'll get that trophy. But my tip with this would be to avoid an endgame grind of having to level up the ranks in order to get everyone to appear, would be to work on this throughout the game. So kill as many hunters as you can in each area to trigger at least one of these specialist hunters in every area that you visit. So as soon as you get to a new island, and maybe you do one of the missions where you have to kill humans, so you already end up with hunters chasing you, just stay in that area for a while and just kill a load of hunters until you fill up that circle in order to spawn the hunter, the special hunter, and then kill them. Because otherwise you'll just be left with a long time to kill everything, because it takes a while to fill up that circle. As you can see from this video here, I'm killing a lot of things, causing a lot of damage, but it slowly fills up. So you want to be in the habit of doing this in every area that you visit at least once, so that by the end of it you've near enough got all of the ranks. Sometimes you might find that they stop filling up once you've killed one, and you try and immediately do another one after it. So maybe just do a couple of missions afterwards and then try it again later, because sometimes I found that the circle just stopped filling up once I was killing ones. So just swim away and get them to lose sight of you. And if you're finding that you're getting damaged too much, make sure you've got the bone stuff equipped, And if you are still struggling, remember you can always swim away and eat some fish to heal yourself, and then come back and attack them. As long as they don't lose sight of you, you'll still be able to go and attack them, and I don't think the boats repair themselves then. If you were to lose sight of them and then have to trigger them again, I would imagine they have full health, so you kind of just want to make sure you come back before they lose sight of you. But yeah, definitely attack them early on and get a rank from every level that you visit, because otherwise you will just have a bit of a boring time of it at the end of your platinum run then, to try and get all these ranks up. So if you do them just naturally as you're playing and spend a bit of time after a mission where you've triggered hunters, killing some more and killing one of these specialists, it won't feel as big of a grind, because this is probably I would say this is probably the biggest grind trophy in the game. It's probably the toughest one as well, really. Only for like the last 2 or 3 of these hunters, like 8, 9 and 10 ranks. They're the harder ones because they have all of the weapons, they have better ships, and you'll often find they might have these electric force fields, so you have to swim under the ship and throw something at these little generators in order to destroy the force field. Then you can attack the ship by just ramming into it and biting it and doing the usual stuff with it. So yeah, most of the early ones are quite easy. They shouldn't really give you too much trouble. It's just the last 2 or 3 that can be tricky. But just remember, you can always retreat, eat some fish to heal, and just try and sometimes it's better to just brute force your way through it. The spin works quite well at damaging them. The tail can also smack them around a bit. If you've got certain tails, you can stun the boat so they can't move for so long. So if you're struggling with any particular one, maybe experiment with the stuff you have equipped on the shark and see if there's a better one that you can use against that particular boat or that particular hunter. But yeah, make sure you are going for this as you're progressing through the story. That's probably the biggest tip I can give there. Okay, so that's enough of that trophy. Let's have a look at the other trophy types. So next up is the Apex Predator Kills trophies. So there are multiple of these. I think it's around 8, but don't quote me on that. So each area will have an Apex Predator that will come out after you've done so many missions and so much progression in that area. You'll then get a new mission where you have to kill the Apex Predator. So this is like this area's boss, and they are always animals. So it might be like a hammerhead shark, an alligator, a great white shark, and so on. As you progress through each area, you'll find the predators are getting bigger and bigger each time until you fight like a giant sperm whale, I think it is. So these are just kill trophies, basically, killing the bosses of each area. None of them are particularly hard, to be honest. You can often find sometimes you'll be surrounded by other fish in the area that can be a bit of a nuisance, so try and take them out first before you deal with the boss so that the area is clear. Remember, like with the hunters, you can swim away if you're losing too much health and just eat a load of fish nearby and then come back and attack them some more. A lot of the times you can find that you can just constantly just bite and then push in the right stick, because that'll sort of lock on and turn the shark around. So if the other shark is moving around or the other Apex Predator is moving around, just constantly bite and push in the stick, and that'll constantly keep you on the thing's ass then. You can constantly nibble at it. It was only later on in the later ones where I was using like the tail fin whip to sort of stun them for a bit so they could stay still, and I was using the dodge roll to sort of attack them with that as well to do more damage. But for the most part they're fairly easy. You can always tell when they're going to attack you, so just roll out the way. If you do find you get caught within their teeth, just wiggle on the right stick to escape it, and then go and swim to eat the fish if you need to get the health back. But for the most part, these are fairly easy. And like I said, you get a trophy for each one, and then once you kill the final one, you'll get another trophy on top of that for killing all of the Apex Predators in the game. So next up we have the Misk Collectibles. So these are sort of other collectible types in the game that we can go for. And one of these is the mutagen crates that are just littered around the sort of ocean floor in every area. So there's quite a lot in some of the areas. Sometimes you'll get like 21 to grab, other times it'll be like 19 or 10, but there's always quite a few in each area, and for the most part they are quite easy to find. I would give a tip for this is to just make sure you're using your sonar to ping the area. You can do this for every collectible type. So just every time you're swimming around, just ping the sonar, and then once it recharges, just ping it again, even if you're not specifically going for them. Just do that so it reveals them on the map. I only really struggled with like one collectible crate. It was just hard to find because some of them are actually underground, and it's hard to find where the entrance to that cave is. But one tip I would give is to always keep an eye out for the golden glowing areas, as these will signify a cave entrance. Sometimes there will be a grate that you have to smash, and these can often be requiring you to be like an elder or something, so some of them you can't always get straight away, and you'll have to come back to areas later. So yeah, my biggest tip would be look out for the golden areas. So once you swim through a tunnel, you'll probably end up in a blue lit area, but keep an eye out for another golden sort of tunnel opening, because they can often lead to another path. Same when you're down in like the sewer systems, you'll often find multiple exits in the room. Look for the blue one first, go into there, because that'll more than likely be a dead end room, then go into the gold one. But as long as you're spamming the sonar as you go through them, you should be okay to find all the collectibles there. This is one that I missed that you're seeing now, and that is the location, just in case you're struggling with that one. So yeah, there are other collectible types. There's also these sort of signposts for like key locations throughout the game. These will often be like movie reference jokes that the game has, but for the most part these are okay to find, and you'll get a trophy once you get all of the tourist signs. Another collectible is the license plates. These are often found floating high up in the air or floating underwater, and a trophy tip I could give when going for these is to just master the art of jumping out of the water with the shark. Because you might not realise, but when you jump out of the water, you can actually double jump. Well, actually, no, I suppose it's a jump and then 2 more jumps on top of that to gain even more height. And if you are nearby an item, say a license plate, remember to mash R2 to bite, as that will also give you sort of an additional jump, because it will sort of push you towards that target as a lock-on. So the key really is to just master how to leap out of the water. If you're swimming on surface level, you can press X and then press X 2 more times, I believe, to jump out again, or press the L2 button to do the same thing. But be aware of the camera with R2, with the right stick rather, sorry, as that will actually flip the shark. If you hold it upwards, I think that flips the shark backwards, and then down will flip your shark forward, so you'll do like a forward roll. So the trick is, if you need to get really high, to sort of dive right down to the bottom of the surface of the water, and then tilt the camera up to look at where you want to jump to, and then don't touch the camera again, just swim right up, and as you jump out, leap twice and then bite. If you try and move the camera as you're leaping out, you'll often find that you roll, and that'll cause you to just go the wrong way. So if you can learn that, that is the key really of how to get all those collectibles. Just successfully jumping out and then using the bite to lock on and grab something. It will take a bit of getting used to, but once you learn that, you'll be able to do flips when you're coming out of the water, and you'll look really cool as well. And you can also rotate your shark to angle your jumps. So yeah, if you can master all that, all that's left then is to unlock the Platinum Trophy for Maneater, and I would say it's a 2 out of 10 difficulty, and it will take anywhere between 10 and 20 hours, depending on how quick you are at finding all the collectibles. So my rating for this would be definitely Plat it, as this was a really fun game. I just really enjoyed playing this. It was just so different to any other game that I've been playing. You know, there's no guns, there's no cover system, there's not really a deep story. It's just you in the ocean, killing and fighting things, and just having a blast. The collectibles in the game are also fun to get, and they're also, for the most part, easy to find, thanks to a great sonar and map system. So yeah, this is a really fun game. The fact that it was free on PlayStation Plus in January 2021 means that everyone who has Plus should get this, hopefully. And if you got it, play it, and definitely Platinum Maneater. It's worth it, and it's so much fun.